Most people know how to hide rows and columns in Excel. So I can highlight those two rows, right click and hide it. But we believe that this is slightly unsafe in the sense that it's difficult to spot there's some hidden information. So we prefer to make use of Excel's data group feature. So to show you how it works, if I highlight these two rows, if I click group, you'll notice it puts a new area in the spreadsheet with a little plus and minus. If I close it, it hides it and shows a plus, and so I can work between those two. The reason we think this is better is because it's much more obvious that there's something hidden there. So for example, I can now click on those two, I can group it, and I can now easily open and close whichever one I want. A benefit of this feature, and something that you can't do with hide and unhide, is I can actually nest these groupings. So I can highlight that whole area, and when I say group, it now has a third level. So I can either see just the gross profit, or I can open it up and see sales and cost of sales, or I can even go further into the underlying products. Nice thing about this feature as well is at the top here we've got 1, 2, 3. If I click any of them, then all the groupings are closed. So instead of me manually closing things one by one, if I push 1, everything closes. If I push 2, this level is closed, that is opened. If I push 3, they're all opened. So this might be the on-screen view, and that might be the printing view. You can do the same thing with columns. So we can highlight a few columns, say group, the same item appears. Another common query with this particular tool is whether it's possible for these plus and minuses, instead of them appearing at the bottom, you can see it appears at the bottom, can it appear at the top? The answer is yes. So where you push the group and ungroup buttons, you'll see there's outline. If I click on that little button, I get a few options. So you'll see it says summary rows below detail. Just switch it off. When I say OK, watch what happens here. It now sums it to the top. To remove the grouping, it's as simple as you highlight it, you click ungroup, ungroup. So depending on what levels you want to remove, you can do that.